Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Bowdabra Monday Facebook Live. I'm Sandy Sandler, the creator of the Bowdabra, and tonight I'm going to show you some Bowdabra basics as well as a few more technical. So we're going from beginner to expert. I'm going to start by just saying that we have two different Bowdabras. We have our regular Bowdabra and we have our mini Bowdabra. And really the only difference is the size. Both of them come with a Bowdabra wand. And this one has there's springs, and that's what allows it to act like a third hand, so it holds everything in place. So I'm going to start by making just a basic bow using this very pretty peacock ribbon. And I'm first going to cut a piece that will be our tails. Actually, first thing that I'm going to do is take my Bowdabra bow wire, and I'm going to cut a piece long enough so that I can fold my wire in half. And let's go to, um, I'm going to try to go to the camera. Okay, here we go. And we're going to go to the overhead camera, and I'm going to take my piece of Bowdabra bow wire, fold it in half, and lay that in, and I'm just tucking it under the ends. And as you can see, we have springs here, so it's going to automatically adapt to what I put into the Bowdabra. The wire to the side. And I'm going to start by just laying my tail down into my Bowdabra. And we're going to dovetail the ends. So we're just going to fold it in half here and just dovetail. And again, I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Just fold it over and dovetail so we have the pretty finished end. Then I'm going to take about 3 yards of my ribbon, and we'll put the ribbon aside. And I'm going to start by just taking about maybe an inch of fabric or ribbon and have that overhang. I'm going to twist it and lay that down into my Bowdabra. I'm going to fold it back over, I'm going to twist it and then put it into my Bowdabra. And again, I'm just going to fold it back and forth and twist it. And I'm just going to make sure that my loops are the same size, and they are. And we're just going to fold and twist. And as you're coming on, let me know where you're watching from. And do you have the big Bowdabra or the little Bowdabras? Or are you just new to Bowdabra and you're just learning how to make a bow? So all I'm doing is folding, twisting, and laying it down into my Bowdabra. And I people will ask me, do you measure it? No, I just kind of figure out approximately how big I want my loops, and I do that by just eyeing them. And we're going to twist, and I'm going to have 4 loops on each side, twist it, and then I'm going to fold this back over and make about a half of the size of a loop, and that's going to be my button loop. And I'm just going to scrunch that down into my Bowdabra. Just going to leave a little piece here, cut that, and now I'm going to take my wand and give everything a good scrunch. And now I'm going to take my wire, and the reason I folded it in half to begin with is because now I have a loop that I can pull my 2 ends through, or slip knot. I'm going to pull it tight while it's still in my Bowdabra, pull it out of the Bowdabra, so now I'm not fumbling with my ribbon, and bring it around to the back and tie it off here and tie another knot. And I'm just going to leave my wire on here because I could tie this. This could easily be a wreath bow, or it could go on a Christmas tree. And we're just going to pull the loops apart. And this is kind of how you fluff it. And Now we have a really pretty bow. You can see, and that was so easy to make in the Bowdabra. Now I'm going to go and make a swag. So I'm going to go again to the overhead camera, and I'm going to, let's see, this is the blue, so I'm going to use my silver Bowdabra bow wire. And just kind of a warning to everybody, all the prices on the wires are going to be going up because of the tariffs. So if you want some Bowdabra bow wire, definitely go on to bowdabra.com and purchase it now before we have to. Hi, Sapphire. My little husky is here joining us. So now I'm just going to take this down in here and just scrunch it into my Bowdabra. And so I just scrunch my mesh down into the Bowdabra. Then I have these picks, the berry picks, and we're just going to lay these down in here and lay these going the opposite direction. And now I'm going to lay in my tails. Oh, make sure that I have the right side of this ribbon up. And we have a white tail here. I think I'm going to have that tail going upwards. And now I'm going to just twist it. Again, this is just like the bow we just made. I'm going to fold it back and forth, twist, and push it down. Whoops, let me straighten out my ribbon here. Okay, we'll show you again what we did. So we're going to twist it. And the reason that I twist it is that way the right side of the ribbon is on the outside of my loop. So definitely let me know where you're watching from. And if you have a Bowdabra or if you're new to Bowdabra, and we're just going to fold and twist and fold and twist. And again, I'm doing the twisting so that I have the right side of my ribbon, or the pretty side of the ribbon is on the outside of my loops, and the wrong side or the ugly side of the ribbon is on the inside of my loops. We're just going to twist it, fold it back, and put that down there. Then I have my white ribbon here. And I'm actually going to take my wand and give everything a good scrunch. Push everything down there. And we're just going to fold it back and forth. And don't forget to join our Facebook fan gallery, because we love to see your creations and everything that you make with the Bowdabra. And it's also a great place to see what other people are creating. And we have some very, very creative people in our Facebook group. We're just going to lay that down. Then I have this pretty pick. We'll lay that down in here in the center. And again, I'm going to take my wand and give everything a good push. And take my wire. And again, the reason that I folded it in half when I first put it into the Bowdabra is now I have my slip knot. So I just can pull everything tight while it's still in the Bowdabra. That way, when I pull it out, even though I have a lot of stuff in this bow, I'm not struggling with it. I'm going to flip it over, and we're just going to tie a knot. And for those of you who are just joining us, or if you're watching the replay, please definitely let me know that you're watching the replay. And now we're just going to pull all of our loops apart. and give everything a good pull here, because fluffing is probably most people dislike the most, but it's the most important part of making the bow is actually fluffing it out. And I have a wired ribbon here so I can fluff it and make the loops go the way that I want them to. And so I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. I had a wonderful Thanksgiving with my family. And now we have this beautiful door swag. You can see how pretty, whoops, I got it upside down, how pretty that is and how super simple and quick it is to make in the Bowdabra. So now we're going to go back to the overhead camera and I'm going to show you how to make a big tree topper using the mesh ribbon. So definitely let me know where you're watching from. So I'm going to fold my wire in half, lay that down into my Bowdabra, and I want to have a little extra wire because this is going to be a pretty big bow. And I'm going to start by taking my um, Deco Mesh ribbon, and I'm just going to scrunch it down in here. And this is easier to do when it's on the roll. So I'm going to fold it back over here, decide how big I want my loops. I think about that big. We're just going to take this, I'm going to gather it all here, twist it, and lay it down into my Bowdabra. And we're going to fold it back over and twist it and lay it into the Bowdabra. And I think what I'm going to do is make 4 loops, fold this back over, and again, I'm going to gather it and whoops, the mesh is catching onto itself, twist it, lay that into the Bowdabra. So I'm making 4 loops. How many of you work with Deco Mesh when you're making bows in the Bowdabra? So I'm just going to clip this up here and put my Deco Mesh aside. And there we go. Whoops, let's make sure I get enough Deco Mesh in there that it holds. And then I have my tails. So I'm going to lay my Deco Mesh tails. And all we did here is just tied a knot at the end of that tail. Lay that down into the Bowdabra. And I'm going to take my beautiful, this is one of my favorite ribbons that we have on Bowdabra.com. Such a pretty ribbon, and it can be used all year round. And now I'm just going to, again, twist it, fold it back over, and twist, fold it back over and twist. And I am holding this down into the Bowdabra because the mesh wants to pop out. So we're just going to twist. Hi, Margaret from Scotland. Wow, it's the middle of the night there. And fold it back over and twist and fold it and twist and grab my wand, and I'm going to give everything a good push down to really scrunch it down into the Bowdabra. And you know what? I'm going to make a little loop there. And then I'm going to grab my Bowdabra bow wire. And as you know, I cut a little bit extra and pull it through my slip knot. Whoops. Pull it tight while it's still in my Bowdabra. I'm going to pull it out, separate the ends, bring it around to the back. And this would be a beautiful tree topper for like a 10-foot tree. Or it also could be a really pretty door bow. And we're just going to tie this off and knot it again. And now I'm just going to shape it out. And the mesh I don't really need to shape because it's pretty much shaped itself. But I'm going to take this here and do my little loop in the center, my buttonhole loop, and give everything a good push here. And this is a wired ribbon, so I can shape the ribbon as I fluff it. And bring down the tails here. Bring these tails down. And we'll come back to the front. And you can see that makes a beautiful bow. And it could be a really pretty tree topper bow. So that's our third bow that we made tonight. And I'm going to put this aside. And now we're going to do a poinsettia. And I'm going to take my Bowdabra and grab my ribbon that we cut. Now to make a poinsettia in the Bowdabra, go back to the overhead camera. I'm going to take my Bowdabra bow wire, and you can do this in the mini or in the big Bowdabra. And my mini, I haven't used my mini much. Let's go ahead and do this in the mini. So we just lay this down here, and the mini works exactly like the big Bowdabra. It has the little springs underneath here, so it's going to automatically adjust to what I put into it. So now I'm just going to, now basically what we did was we cut these at a point. So it's the opposite of dovetailing. And bring this down here. And I'm kind of shaping it as I go. And then I have my red ribbon for my poinsettia flowers. And I think I've quite a few cut there. That in there. And then I'm just going to put this little crystal flower in the center. Give everything a good push down. And now these make really pretty ornaments for your trees. And pull this out. Bring it around to the back. And I'll just knot it. And after this, I'm going to make a wreath. So we have pretty much a pretty full half hour tonight with a wreath and a poinsettia and the bow. And you can see how pretty this came out. So super simple to make. And these would be really pretty as ornaments on your tree, or they're also great for gift wrapping. So now let's go ahead again to the overhead camera. And I'm going to grab my wreath and put that aside. And grab all my ribbon here. And we're going to go ahead and use our silver Bowdabra bow wire. And we'll cut a piece here. Hi, Brenda. Hi, everyone. Thank you for commenting and for sharing. We really appreciate it. So now I'm just going to lay these in here. And this, and take these tails. This is just a really pretty tool. It's not wired, but it has a very good consistency to it. And just lay these in here. Just all different lengths of tails. And now we're going to make our bow. And again, all I'm doing here, super simple, is just fold, twist, scrunch it down, because I want the right side of my ribbon on the outside of my loop, and twist and fold this back over and twist and fold and twist and fold and twist. And I want to thank everybody who's been ordering from Bowdabra.com. We really appreciate it. Crunch that down. Then we'll take our tool or netting, and we're just going to do exactly the same thing. Just going to fold it and twist and fold and twist and fold and twist. It's fun to use different fabrics in the Bowdabra besides just ribbon. And fold and twist. And again, I'm just going to fold and twist and lay that down in there. And then I have this tube mesh, which I love the tubular mesh. It's so much fun to work with. And just so that it wouldn't fray, we tied a knot in the end and just kind of let a little bit of that hang down. And just all I'm doing here is just folding it back and forth and just fold it back and forth. The tubular mesh is fun to work with in the Bowdabra. And just back and forth. And I think I'll do one last loop, or maybe we can do two last loops. And then I will take my wand, give everything a good scrunch, take my Bowdabra bow wire, and I'm just going to pull everything tight while it's still in the Bowdabra. Pull it out. I'm going to just separate my ends, bring it around to the back. And of course, I don't know that maybe I did. If I cut the piece long enough to tie it around my wreath. One thing that I wasn't thinking about when I cut my wire, you always have to be aware of that, is if you're tying it onto something and just shape, pull these apart, and it makes a really, really pretty bow. And then I'm just going to take this, and hopefully I have enough. Yeah, I do, barely. And we're just going to twist it and then knot it and just clip the ends. And we have this really pretty wreath, which is super, super simple to make. So let's just go over everything that we've made and we'll make one more. Actually, let's do one more. Get my phone out of the glitter. And let's show you a great use for your scraps of ribbon. We'll go back up to the overhead camera and I'll take a piece of my Bowdabra bow wire, that aside, grab my Bowdabra. And this is one of my favorite bows. It's super simple to make, and it's a great way to use the scraps of ribbon that you have laying around. So I'm just going to take my ribbon here and lay this down into the Bowdabra. And make sure that I have the right side of the ribbon going upwards. And it's hard in this light to see. And bring this here. So all I'm doing, literally, these are just scraps of ribbon that we dovetailed, and they make a really pretty bow. And then take my pick, just lay that down in here, and give everything a good scrunch. Yeah, these bows would be great for presents, Margaret, you're right. And pull it tight while it's still in the Bowdabra. Pull it out, separate the ends. And what's good about this bow is anybody can make it. So you can put everybody in your family to work making bows out of scraps of ribbon. So you don't have to do all the decorating all by yourself or the gift wrapping all by yourself. And we're just gonna shape it out. And you'll see you have this really pretty bow that's literally just made from scraps. And if you're just joining us, we'll kind of go over what we've made so far. Made this beautiful, so definitely watch the replay. We've made this beautiful wreath, this big tree topper bow, a beautiful swag, and we started, whoops, if I can grab it, with our basic peacock bow. And now let's go ahead and do one more. I'm going to take my wire, and again, I'm just going to fold it in half, lay it down into the Bowdabra, and I have a really pretty plaid ribbon that I'm looking forward to using. And all we're going to do, we're not going to put tails on this bow. We're just going to twist it and fold it back and forth and twist. I love this ribbon. It's just a really rich plaid. And just fold it back over and fold and twist. So all we're doing here is just folding, and I'll twist it and then lay it down into my Bowdabra. Now, some people will fold and they'll kind of twist as they're going down into their Bowdabra. It doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Again, we're just folding and twist, fold it back over and twist, and just make one last loop. Then I have this really pretty pick here. I'll just lay the pick down into my Bowdabra, give everything a good scrunch, take my Bowdabra bow wire, and again, I'm just going to pull it through my slip knot. And this would be a beautiful gift wrap bow. Pull it tight while it's still in my Bowdabra. Pull it out, separate my ends, bring it around to the back. Just tie a knot, tie another knot, bring my piece there, and just shape everything out as I fluff. And you can see we have this really pretty bow. Just so everything is so super simple in the Bowdabra. And I want to thank all of you so much for joining me. I hope everybody has fun with their holiday decorating. And we will see you next week. Actually, Joette will be here next week. I won't, I'll be driving. But we'll definitely see you all soon. Thanks so much for watching. Okay, I think I'm going to end the broadcast.